Hey there. So I just wanted to do this video on empaths because the last 10 years I've realized I was empath like a long time ago, like 10 years ago or so. And in our church in Tri-Cities, it's called the Divine Fellowship, and they are on YouTube. They're amazing. They embrace, more of the healer side. If you're empath or intuitive or any of that type of thing, that church embraces that. And in the few years that we were members, or we're still members, but then the few years that we were going regularly, I really was able to embrace that. And we took a class. It was called the Dream Quest class, where I think it was like 3 weekends in a row, 3 Saturdays in a row. But you were taught how to just like follow your intuition, and showed you about crystals and tarot cards and things like that. But I haven't really been like kind of honing in on it. And when I got my hair braided a couple months ago from that healer lady that I did not know she was a healer, and she gave me this necklace and all of that. She was the one that recommended that I go ahead and get specifically oracle cards so that I can start doing readings for myself every morning just to enhance my intuitiveness, right? And so it's been something that I've been slowly knowing that I need to delve into more. But recently, a lot of things have happened to me emotionally that I felt very drained. And with this whole pandemic going on, I'm doing a lot of Zoom calls. So I have 6 one-on-one clients that I see each week on Zoom. And I have a class that I'm taking on Zoom as well once a week. Those things, I feel great. My energy's up. But I'm finding all of the volunteer commitments that I have, which is about 3 or 4. Those are also having Zoom calls. Some of them more regular than the others, but I'm finding when I'm on those calls, I'm like just dead, just no energy. I could barely smile or laugh. Like I don't want to do it. I have no desire to do it. So with all of this, because the volunteer stuff that I do, it's really important to me. So I have to figure out, maybe I just don't have time for all of it anymore. And with me going back into the work field, hopefully by July, um, I've just been really thinking about like my energy and how I can keep my energy up. And I don't know, it just popped in my feed on my YouTube feed, empath stuff this particular day. It was like maybe 5 days ago. And since then, I've watched like literally 10 hours of whether it be videos, trainings on empath, and being empath and being a highly intuitive empath. So I know I'm empath, and for most of us who are empath, you would consider it just being really sensitive. Were you a kid and all the videos showed like if you were a kid where your family was like constantly like you're so sensitive, you're so sensitive, you're too sensitive, that's one of the key things with being empath, and sometimes it can make you feel really crazy. Perfect example for me when I'm at church. I'm the greeter at church, and if I could be that person 24 hours a day, that hi, and just hugging and mama bearing all these beautiful older people and everybody, like if I could be that person all the time, it would be awesome. But I can't. So in other situations, if you see me at church, you might think like, God, you seem so different when you're in this setting. That's because when I walk into a room, I can feel the energy. And if I'm in a particular room, sometimes it's hard to know if it's my energy or if it's the other person's energy, and it's really hard too, because when you're a highly intuitive empath, you just want to help everyone. So I have to check myself a lot to even say, I'm a mindfulness coach. So when I see someone suffering, it's my instinct to go privately message them and say, are you okay? What can I do for you? It is an instinct inside of my soul. And if you don't know what empath is, it's the equivalent of, having your heart be 10 times bigger than a normal heart, and it's on the outside. Somebody gave that explanation. Your heart is 10 times bigger and it's on the outside of your body. Like that's how big and how strong you feel when you walk in a room. And so one of the tips I really want to share that I saw was that when you're an empath, you have, say you're in the middle and you have four circles around you. The middle part, the very closeness of you from like your elbow, nobody should be in that space except your like loved ones. So for me, when I typically meet somebody and if their energy's like, hey, like bubbly and outgoing, I initially am like, hey girl, what's up? That's usually what I am, but I have to be careful because if there's certain qualities of people that I don't want in my life, like for an empath, it's very harmful to have people that are very either manipulative, or if they have so much going on and they aren't actively taking steps to um, help themselves. Those people for an empath are dangerous. So for me, when I meet someone, I have to now start being very careful who I allow in my house, who I allow in my personal space, because I could do damage to myself emotionally, and I can do damage to them, because some people don't realize that they are suffering and need help. And me saying like, hey, I feel that this about you, that can be very offensive to somebody who's not there yet, right? So that could hurt them. And then for me, it's harmful for my emotions, because if you're up and down with your emotions, to me it's the equivalent if I'm in a room with somebody and they're a very negative energy. For me, it feels like whether they're being negative to themselves, it looks like energy of them punching themselves in the face. If it's energy toward me, it feels like they're punching me in. I feel like I'm being punched in the face. That's what the energy, the intensity of how it feels to be empath. And when you're dealing with other people's emotions and your own emotions, it's very hard. And I am highly intuitive, which means like if somebody is saying with their words, like, no, everything's fine, I hear it's almost like little whispers, like, no, I'm not fine. Like, I don't like you, or um, I think you're a bitch, or I'm having a rough day. Like, I hear, like, I was on the phone a few weeks ago with somebody, had a conflict situation, and they were saying the words, no, I think you're fine, no, I think it's great, but I could hear the underline. I could hear there was some weirdness there. Like, you can say one thing to me, but if that's not truly what you feel, I'm going to feel that, and I may not call you on it, but it's going to be in the back of my head, like, what was that? And even if, like, say my husband, for example, if he says one thing but he means something else, I'll be like, babe, what are you really trying to say? And he'd be like, no, no, I'm fine. And I'll be like, what are you really trying to say? Like, I pick up on stuff a little bit. I'm just more hyper aware of it. So if you are an empath, it's super important that you protect your energy and you protect the people that you allow in your space, in your home, in your bubble, in your area. My mind was blown when I saw that particular piece for me was like, that would help a lot, because I have a mental note of certain people that I know as an empath is going to hurt me to have those people in my circle like that close. And it highly number one is if you have a lot of stuff going on in your life emotionally, or whatever area in your life you're just struggling, and if your personality is just to complain and not do the things, that is dangerous for me to be around. And those are the people that I'm drawn to the most. Um, but I have to be more diligent. So if you're an empath, I hope that helps you. There's a million videos out there, but I just felt like I needed to reach out. And also, parents out there, just even being aware of what an empath is. If you have a child that is empath, instead of saying, you're so sensitive, just explain to them that they may be empath and that there's nothing wrong with them. They just feel emotions differently than other people, and they're not crazy or weird or too sensitive. And then also too, just about regulating emotions in general as adults. If we could even start with the young kids of this world, just reminding them it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be pissed, it's okay to be annoyed, it's okay to have emotion. Um, the 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 issue is making sure that because of that emotion, you're not lashing out or doing hurtful things or harmful things to yourself or other people. So teaching kids and teaching even adults, like, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be mad, it's okay to sit with it and ponder with it. What's not okay is to take the sadness. Oh my God, my hands are so dry. Ooh, ashiness. Um, it's not okay to take that emotion and internalize it to the point that you're hurting yourself or other people. Okay. All right. Love y'all.